Yeah, if you're comfortable talking about it, what are some L's that you turned into W's?
One in particular, being on time. What does that mean? It's making an appointment. What's an appointment? People schedule a certain time to get a service at that time.
Is that something you used to struggle with?
I did, because I was very irresponsible, bro. Taking responsibility. You know, that was a big thing with me. I thought I was so good. My head was so up there with my skills that I would treat my clients like, okay, you can wait for me.
No.
You know, I'm a schedule you. I got 2 more ahead of you.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
No.
And the professional, and you understand that as you grow older, as you start seeing, if you really want to open up a business one day, you really got to chop down your losses, which your wrongs. Once you get to look at yourself in the mirror and have that conversation and understand what those losses are, that's where it takes off.
Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake. I mean, at the same time, your service is like any other service. Why would barbers make that mistake? I've noticed. My current barber does that till this day. I think they feel like what I just said before. It's like they know. It's like paying rent, you know? And when that lease is up, all landlords know they can sneak in an extra $50 in the $50 a month for the new lease before you renew, because they know nobody's trying to move. Nobody wants to look for a new place to live. And it's the same thing with a barber. Like, as long as you're not like fucking me all the way up like terribly, like nobody wants to look for a new barber, you know? So I feel like a lot of barbers can get lazy and like
they get comfortable.
They get comfortable and be like, oh, this dude's been cutting hair with me for like 3 years. He's not going nowhere.
He's not going anywhere.
I could be 10, 15 minutes late.
Right. No,
but
and
that's not cool.
And that's not.
You're a service at the end
10,
of the day.
10, 15 is okay, because if you go to the doctor, right, you go to one of your appointment, oh, we'll be right with you. And it takes up to 10,
doctors be late as hell.
5. You know what I mean? Sometimes they do take like way longer. But you need to understand that they're taking care of somebody else. Mm-hmm. They're really like in, what do you say? How do you say it? Life or death situation.
Yeah, that's different.
You know? So it's understandable. But with us, man, like, that's my biggest flex. My communication with everything in life is the best thing you can have. Why? It's a two-way street. I'm still human. I'm not a robot. You're still human. You're not a robot. We both understand that we have things in life that are going to pop up no matter what. So understanding that by communicating, oh, hey, bro, I'm gonna be 5-10 minutes late. Take your time, but make sure you be here on time. Beyond those minutes extended, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same with me. If I have to cancel, I'll reschedule you, right? But I'll give you a discount. You know? That's things that you learn, and you gotta appreciate, because that's how you keep your lights on.
You be giving discounts?
I do.
If you have to cancel?
I do.
Okay.
That's what I do. You know what
I'm
I mean?
I'm gonna book an appointment with you and slash your tires, and then make you cancel on me.
No, most definitely, right? Now I'll get there. I'll make sure I get there.
Okay.
That's one thing with me. Like, if I don't have a car, like if I'll hit you up. Hey, bro, you mind scooping me up? Hey, I'll take an Uber. I'll have my wife drop me off.
So you will lose money. So let's say the cut costs $25. Do you do as low as $25?
I don't.
No. Okay. Let's just say, okay, but let me just use this for the easy math. Let's say the cut costs $20, but the Uber costs $25. Would you do that just so you don't lose that client?
Yeah, I will. Because at the end of the day, that's my profession, bro. You got to take care. It's responsibilities, you know, being a professional.
That's being a businessman at that point. You're past being just, and I feel like that may be the difference. You're past being just an artist, because it's like the same headspace that somebody like Kanye West might get into when they're an artist. It's like, if you go to a Kanye concert, if Kanye takes 2.5 hours to come out, ain't nobody leaving. They're waiting 2.5 hours for Kanye, and 100%. He knows that. But like, that's the artist who might be thinking like that because they know the value of their art. But the businessman understands the algorithm of business. Like, nah, man, you can't do that too many times because eventually that's just gonna crumble the whole thing. So that's the businessman side of you that can see that.
Right. So
You
growing
feel me?
up, I had a motto. I had a saying, right? It was, one leaves, two come. What does that mean? If I leave one client, I know two are gonna come. You know? But that's a big mistake. You got to take care of what you work hard for. You know? That's essential, bro.
So you think do you think that's a bad
oh yeah,
mindset? One leaves, two comes.
It's a good and a bad. You know, like if there's a legitimate reason why he left, and you guys both communicated that, like I said, communication goes a long way. If my schedule doesn't work with your schedule, it's understandable. Go look for somebody else. I'll even point you the right way. You can stay within the shop. If any of the barbers that work in the team, shout out to them, by the way, can take care of you, go ahead. Mm-hmm. That's one thing with barbers. Barbers need to understand that it's a chain reaction. What goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? If me, let's say, I am the best barber in the shop in Milwaukee, right? And you are the best in your area, and you go for a vacation, and your client needs a cut that day that you're on vacation, but he doesn't trust anybody in the shop. No disrespect to nobody in the shop, but they're not just as good as you. What are you gonna do as a barber? Are you gonna be like, well, just stay like that, wait for me till I get back? Or are you gonna go out your way and accommodate and take care of business and tell him, no, hey, go by JP, bro. He'll take you just as care as me, just as good as me.
Mm-hmm. I definitely have to go out my way.
What was that?
I said I'll have to go out of my way, and I'll have to point them towards you.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's not a bad thing. You gotta have confidence. If your client, right, your client is in demand, there's no such thing, and I want you to highlight this. There's no such thing of you being your own boss when you're a barber. And why is that? Because every single
people
person,
are your boss.
Every single person that sits in that chair, they're your boss.
Yeah. What are some things that you could tell to the clients that they got to be annoying you in some ways, like clients not understanding things, clients being rude?
No call, no shows. Easy, right out the bat. No calls, no show, because you're not respecting my business. You're not respecting my time.
I ain't gonna lie. I kind of got into it with the barber. It wasn't really like a no call, no show. It was a missed appointment. And I understand now, and I admit I was in the wrong. I kind of got into it with the barber. I'm not going to name the barbershop or nothing like that. I got into it with someone. This is when I first moved to Milwaukee. I made an appointment on the Booksy app, and I overslept, and I was about 30 minutes late. So then I came in about 30 minutes later. I was like, did I miss the appointment? I was like, yeah, you missed it, bro. And I was like, okay, is there any time I could book like later today? And he was like, no, we're not taking any more appointments later today. And I'm like, okay, maybe can I come back in tomorrow? And he was like, yeah, but you're going to have to book it again. And I'm like, okay, but what about like my $35 that I already like cash apped you or I sent through the Booksy app? Am I going to have to like pay another one? And he was like, yeah. And then
that's
to my thing. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What you mean? So I'm getting mad. And like they had to like take me, like they asked me to leave the barbershop. They kicked me out the barbershop.
Right.
And I was pissed. But a year later, I'm looking back at it, understanding more things, and I was in the wrong. I get it.
Like I mean, you understand. You probably thought about it. You know, like in that type of situation, you got to think about it. That slot may be an hour of his time throughout the day. Maybe he's fast. He can get 2 heads in an hour. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. But if you're paying for a service and you're not there, it's just like you're not respecting somebody's time, man. So I mean, I'm sure you thought about it. You, like you said, you realized you were in the wrong, and that's it, man.
Yeah, it is also like they missed an opportunity. Like you said, they missed an opportunity that somebody else could have booked that appointment and showed up, and that's $40 they could have missed.
Another thing
because they booked you.
Another people that don't understand is that we don't get paid by the hour. We get paid by the client.
By the booking. Mm-hmm. So if you're booking, if you're booking me and I accept, because you gotta accept the person's.
I have it manually. I don't
exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to accept someone who requests a booking.
Right.
So if you're booking me and I accept you, and then you're like, nah, bro. No, man, because I could have accepted somebody else. They would have paid me. I got bills to pay. You can't be doing that. So, like, I get that, yeah.
And how did I learn all of this? Is by losses, bro. We go back to that, by losing. And good enough that every client of mine has been my friend. And when people are your true friends, they'll tell you your flaws, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, like I booked an appointment, but you weren't on time, or you were late, or you canceled me last minute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Things do happen, but those lessons, those L's, turn into. I was like, you know what? He's right, and it takes maturity to understand. Okay, hey, let me take a step back. Don't go off of just anger of your mind, and look at what he's saying, because at the end of the day, the client is the one that keeping on your lights, and that's your boss at the end of the day.
JP, to wrap this up, if you can tell anybody who's watching this who wants to be a barber, or just any type of entrepreneur, because I consider you an entrepreneur after everything I've been hearing from you. You definitely think like an entrepreneur, you're a businessman.
For sure.
What's the mindset that they have to acquire to get to the point that you're in?
The best thing I can advise somebody is learn how to sacrifice. And what does that mean? You got to sacrifice your time. You got to sacrifice all the party time, all the bad friendships. Pull that to the side. Stay focused and just go through it. Not a lot of people are going to believe. A lot of people are going to laugh. A lot of people might say, they're going to talk. Might say you're crazy, that you're delusional, that you're not going to make it. But manifestation is real. When you speak it into life and you work for it and you sacrifice all those things, you sacrifice your time of being on time, 5 minutes early, wake up earlier, go to bed earlier, things that I need to work on as well, but that's the sacrifice, bro. When you start sacrificing things like that, you'll see that your boat's slowly moving to where you want to get.
So sacrifice the little things and the big things.
Exactly.
What's more important? The little things or the big things?
The little things. The little things. The little things that you think are not that big. Because that is going to help you be organized, being on time, and you're going to take off, man. I did it. I'm just a regular human.
Yeah.
I breathe air just like you. Mm-hmm. I bleed the same blood.
And
at the end of the day.
And indeed you did it, and that's why I wanted you on this show. You're an inspiration to me. I know a lot of Milwaukeeans watching this. They're going to also be inspired by you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Jose. And thank you guys for watching another episode of the Greatly Less Than Podcast, episode 12 or 13. Talk to you guys next time.